mantra part from the best book on the Heart Sutra, Dalai Lama's Essence of the Heart Sutra. When was it published? 2003, Mark. His Mark always asks, when is this going on? So no, it's go ahead.
Yeah.
Good evening. It's a little after 7. Sorry we're late. This is Kunchap Tardu Ling, or the Tibet Center, Buddhist Meditation and Study Center, located in New York City and northern New Jersey. We're under the direction of Chabje Ling Rinpoche and the subdirection of Rato Khensa Thupten, also known as Venerable Nicholas Freeland. This is our twice weekly presentation of the Buddha Dharma. All the prayers we'll be saying will be on the Tibet Center website in the FAQ section. If you have anyone for whom you want us to pray for when we do Sutra of the Three Jewels, anyone who's passed away recently, put their name as soon as possible in the chat box, because there is like a 1.5-minute time delay towards the end, so you may miss it. The first prayer is prayer for the spreading of the teachings throughout the length and breadth of the West. By the force of the blessings of the non-fallacious three precious gems, and of the truth of our pure selfless wishes, may the precious Buddhist teachings flourish and spread to the expanse of all areas throughout the length and breadth of the West. For all the people living there, together with their near ones, who have engaged in the teachings and have faith and respect for them, may all conditions adverse to their practice of the pure Dharma be dispelled, and an excellent collection of favorable conditions increase like the waxing moon. And especially for those who work on methods to accomplish the flourishing and spreading of the victorious one's teachings, which are the source of benefit and happiness, may they never be oppressed by masses of interference and adverse conditions, and may this spontaneously happen just as we have hoped and wished. The Heart Sutra, and we'll be doing a little 15-20 minutes on the Heart Sutra tonight, more later. Thus have I heard once, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of the Vulture Peak Mountain, together with a big gathering of great monks and great bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One entered the samadhi which examines the dharmas, called profound illumination, and at the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, the bodhisattva, Mahasattva, looking at the profound practice of transcendent knowledge, saw the 5 skandhas and their natural emptiness. Then, through the inspiration of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to Avalokiteshvara, how should those noble ones learn who wish to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge? And Avalokiteshvara answered, Venerable Shariputra, whoever wishes to follow the profound practice of transcendent knowledge should look at it like this, seeing the 5 skandhas and their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness itself is form, emptiness is not separate from form, form is not separate from emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discriminating awareness, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Thus all the dharmas are empty and have no characteristics. They are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, since there is emptiness, there is no form, no feeling, no discriminating awareness, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no objects of mind, no quality of sight, no quality of hearing, no quality of smelling, no quality of tasting, no quality of sensing, no quality of thought, no quality of mind consciousness. There are no nidanas from ignorance to old age and death, nor their wearing out. There is no suffering, no cause of suffering, no ending of suffering, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, no non-attainment. Therefore, since there is no attainment, the bodhisattvas abide by means of transcendent knowledge. And since there is no obscurity of mind, they have no fear. They transcend falsity and pass beyond the bounds of sorrow. All the Buddhas who dwell in the past, present, and future, by means of transcendent knowledge, fully and clearly awaken to unsurpassed, true, complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of transcendent knowledge, the mantra of deep insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for there is no deception. In transcendent knowledge, the mantra is proclaimed, Tayata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisoha. O Shariputra, this is how a bodhisattva, Mahasattva, should learn profound transcendent knowledge. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and praised the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, saying, Good, good, O son of noble family, profound, transcendent knowledge should be practiced just as you have taught, and the Tathagatas will rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, Shariputra and Avalokiteshvara, that whole gathering in the world with its gods, humans, Asuras, and Gandharvas, their hearts full of joy, praise the words of the Blessed One. Generating bodhicitta, refuge bodhisattva vow, we say these verses 3 times. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind intent on full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. As long as space endures, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the miseries of the world. So now, as is customary, we will say one round of Om Mani Padme Hum, the mantra of Avalokiteshvara, who personifies great compassion. So with the Heart Sutra, we dispel obstacles, and with the Om Mani Padme Hum, we set our motivation. We're doing this for sentient beings, to relieve suffering from all sentient beings. Enough. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So tonight, the menu is, we do the Heart Sutra all the time. So I thought we'd consult His Holiness. This is the best commentary on the Heart Sutra. His Holiness's Essence of the Heart Sutra. When was it published? 2003, in case you weren't. Very well read, very well written, very well edited. I think Thupten Jinpa edited it. So It's excellent, very helpful, and since we're saying this constantly, daily, etc., we should have some commentary on it so we can think. So, we're going to a small section on this text, page 131, the implicit meaning of the Heart Sutra, especially featuring the mantra, Tayata Gate Gate Paragate, that one. So, this page actually 129 will start because you need a little introduction. The purpose of the Heart Sutra, by the way, is to dispel obstacles, among other things. It's the whole education of Buddhism in a very short text, but it expands. Wait, there's more. So I'm going just for the mantra tonight, because it would take months to really go over the whole thing. Up to this point, page 129, His Holiness says, the Heart Sutra is said to be an explanation of emptiness for trainees who are of unexceptional aptitude. The text then makes a concise presentation in the form of mantra of emptiness, of a mantra of emptiness, which is aimed at people of the highest aptitude. What does that mean? There are people who have previous background in the Dharma, other lives. They probably studied it a lot. They hear a few words and they put together a lot more than we do. At least I do, who came in cold from, whatever, sports arena. So they pick it up right away. So if you find yourself understanding this and all that, you have some roots. So somewhere, by the way, to meet the Dharma, it's so unusual. We all have some good roots. So the text reads, now he's got a different translation, but it's similar to ours. You can figure it out. Therefore, one should know that the mantra of the perfection of wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unexcelled mantra, the mantra equal to the unequaled, we have just the unequaled mantra. The mantra that quells all suffering is true because it is not deceptive. What does that mean? He's going to tell us. How nice. The perfection of wisdom itself, Prajnaparamita, is here referred to as a mantra. Quote, the etymological meaning of mantra is to protect the mind. Okay? Thus, through attaining the perfection of wisdom, one's mind will be completely protected against erroneous belief, against the mental afflictions that arise from such belief, and against the suffering, most important, produced by the mental affliction. So that's the purpose. Feel free to comment, complain, whatever, just relax. It's like a living room here. This is cozy. When the Lama from Ladakh said, I like this cozy place. The perfection of wisdom is called the mantra of great knowledge. Why is the mantra of great knowledge? Because thoroughly understanding its meaning eliminates the three poisons of craving, hatred, and delusion, or attachment, aversion, and ignorance. To put it that way. I want, I don't want, and I know what I'm doing. I have no idea of the nature of reality. That's the big ignorance. That starts the ball rolling for the other two. It is called the unexcelled mantra because there is no greater method than the perfection of wisdom for saving one from the extremes of cyclic existence and the isolated peace of individual nirvana. That's very important. There's something in this, it's a Mahayana sutra that not only gets you out of samsara, but keeps you from falling into complacent peace, where you're just really happy. You're not going to fall from that. You're out of samsara, but you're not out in the world helping people. You haven't developed great compassion. So what happens? Eventually, Buddhas, bodhisattvas rouse you out of that state. And then what happens? It takes you longer to achieve Buddhahood because you're so used to working things out for yourself only. That motivation strangles you somewhat. So those of us who just start out and listen to the text, well, that's what we'll do. We'll try the Mahayana path, the Bodhisattva way. We're better off. It's quicker. When they say quick, they mean they're talking eons, not 10 minutes. Not good news, is it? No?
Sorry, you just caught me when I was yawning.
That's normal. You're normal. You need oxygen. Nurse, a cold beer over here. No. There's no greater method than the perfection of saving ones from the extreme of, okay. It is called the mantra of equal to the unequal, or the unequaled mantra. Why do we say that? The unequaled mantra. Because the Buddha's enlightened state is unequaled. And through the deepest realization of this mantra, one attains a state equal to that state. Okay, that's as high as you can go. Buddhahood is omniscience, which means, what's the definition of omniscience? We repeat it all the time. Simultaneous and direct knowledge of all phenomena and their mode of being. They're conventional, they're ultimate. Simultaneous, direct, not mediated by a concept or anything. So this is it's a big deal. It's the biggest deal. Call now. Finally, the perfection of wisdom is known as the mantra that quells all suffering, because it quells manifest sufferings and also removes the propensities for future sufferings. Whatever we do leaves what they call an imprint on our mind. We clear the bad karma that causes us, say, to be reborn in hell, but we still have the imprints, the way of looking at the world, the way of receiving information that's tinged by a false view of reality. That those imprints, bakchas they call them in Tibetan, cause trouble. So, and what do? They do basically, they block omniscience. So you're out of samsara, you're doing well. And even the first 7 stages of the bodhisattva, you're still not. Then 8, 9, and 10, it's clearer, and then Buddhahood, the 11th. There's 10 steps, but that's another lecture. The perfection of wisdom is the ultimate truth. Thus the statement, it is true. In the realm of ultimate truth, there is no disparity as there is in conventional reality between appearance and reality. This is a big point. When you have a direct realization of emptiness, you're seeing it as it is. That's true. What we see is not true. We see an overlay. We see inherent existence, which when you use logic, wait, it can't be that way. But everything tells me it is. Don't tell me. That's the hard problem. Instinctively, we see things, and yes, this is over there, that's over here. Yes, in one way. But it's not, if you start logically examining things, first of all, everything's in motion, and so it doesn't appear that way. Everything appears that it's there, but moment by moment it's changing, as are we. That we could figure out. Our senses don't tell us everything, so you have to use the mind. Our senses don't tell us that we're spinning at 900 miles an hour this way, 1,500 or some that way. No, we're sitting here nice and quiet. We're not. But we think we are, so don't wake me up. So this is something to think about, when you're on the train or when, wherever you go, the opera. It is true. So the way things appear in the ultimate realization, the meditative equipoise, direct, that's the way they are. But then the way they are appearing to everyone is also a reality that you can't get rid of. No, it's legit to a point. That's why sometimes samsara and nirvana, they're equal. There's a lot of ways to talk about that, but you can't throw out conventional reality. Through the convention, the ultimate is seen. That's it. How else? So, in the realm of the ultimate truth, there is no disparity as there is in conventional, because between appearance and reality, and thus the manifest ultimate truth is not deceptive. It ensures there's no deception. It transcends in knowledge, blah, blah, blah. This non-deceptiveness also suggests that through actualization of this mantra, the perfection of wisdom can enable one to attain total freedom from suffering and its causes. From this perspective, too, we can say that it is the truth. The mantra of perfection of wisdom, now he quotes the sutra, is proclaimed Tayate Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhisattva Shariputra. The bodhisattvas, the great beings, should train in the perfection of wisdom this way. So now he explains, Tayata means it is thus. So I don't know why they use that, it is thus. They use that Tayata for medicine Buddha mantras also. You see it a lot. and prepares the way for what follows. Gate, gate means go, go. Go. Go where? To the Bronx? No. Go, go. Paragate means go beyond. Parasamgate means go totally beyond. And Bodhisoha can be read as be rooted in the ground of enlightenment. So where are we going? The entire mantra itself can be translated as go, go, go beyond, go totally beyond, be rooted in the ground of enlightenment. We can interpret this mantra metaphorically to read, go to the other shore, which is to say, abandon this shore of samsara, unenlightened existence, which has been our home since beginningless time. So no wonder it's hard to imagine another place that's not like this. This has been our home since beginningless time. When did it start? Nobody says. Nobody talks about that. Christians talk about original sin. Not so original. Everybody has original sin and all that. They don't waste their time in Buddhism with that. It's hard to posit a beginning philosophically also. Bertrand Russell said you can't really posit a beginning to anything, because everything is caused. So whatever you see had to be caused by this. So it makes the mind a little nuts thinking this way, but it makes sense. From cross to the other shore, the final nirvana. Okay. What is the implicit meaning of the Heart Sutra here on page 131? I want to check the time because I'm very paranoid about running out of time. The mantra contains the implicit or hidden meaning of the Heart Sutra, revealing how the understanding of emptiness is related to the 5 stages of the path to Buddhahood. That's what the gates are all about. So it's showing your progress from this to this to this to this. Accumulation is the first path. You're getting merit. You're getting used to these concepts. Preparation is the second path. Preparing for what? Preparing to see emptiness directly. And that path is long, and it goes through stages where you're getting closer, closer, closer. Paragate, you hit the path of seeing. You have a direct realization of emptiness, void of any concepts. You know it like, as Chungla says, like you see your hand in front of your face. That way. And at that point, the mind is like water being poured into water, subject object goes out the window and all that, temporarily. You know. Harasamgate, the path of meditation, you're getting used to this thing which was shocking and new, the initial view of emptiness. Then you get used to it. And as you get used to it on that path, you're throwing out all the blocks to Buddhahood, slowly, slowly. A bodhisattva, and this is the Mahayana, hits the first level of the 10 bhumis, 10 levels, when they hit the path of seeing. Then they're called Aryas also. Noble. Noble because they see ultimate truth. Not noble because their father's a king and they got a good job when he dies. That's it. No, well, she dies and I'm the queen. And then on that path is the progress from ground 1 to ground 10 to the final path, no more learning, you're a Buddha. You're a know-it-all. There's no more learning. And then you have to go cap and gown and get a degree. No. It's just, you don't need those things. The miraculous power you have even hitting the first level of bodhisattva, is like you can send out 100 emanations here, visit 100 lands and all this. Very unusual. That sounds like the brochure though. So we gotta be careful because we'll get upset. We sit for many hours and nothing happens. We'll throw the book at the window. So, implicit meaning of Heart Sutra, how the understanding of it is related to the 5 stages of the path to Buddha. In this mantra, we can read the first go as an exhortation to enter the path of accumulating merit. So this is the first gate. Second gate is an exhortation to the path of preparing the mind to deeply perceive emptiness, the path of preparation, sometimes called the path of joining in the Kagyu system. I don't know how that came around, but that's it. Maybe it's a translation, who knows. Go beyond refers to the path of seeing reality, the direct and unmediated realization of emptiness. Unmediated by what? Concepts. The mind says, oh, this is this, that's that, and nicely stacked up. Concepts are useful, you have to have them, but they're a means to an end. But as one Zen teacher from Korea said, don't try to become non-conceptual. You just got to go through the exercises and let it somewhat happen. You know. practitioner who sees in this way has become an Arya or noble being. Going total beyond, parasamgata, indicates the path of meditation, gom in Tibetan. Literally, what does it mean? Habituation. Meditation is really habituation, getting used to something. So it's very easy to do. Like when you're making a cake with gustin, you know just how to do it, right? Very easy. Because you're habituated to it. She doesn't know about gustin, you better tell her, because she's a baker also. It's a German starch. It's the secret ingredient.
Cornstarch. That's all it is.
Cornstarch?
It's very arcane, that's the word. One becomes deeply familiar with emptiness through constant practice, so it's very ordinary then. And you know, these high beings that go in and out, they're in and out of emptiness and into the regular. It looks like that to me, but I don't know. The final part of this mantra, Bodhisattva, is an exhortation to establish oneself firmly in the ground of enlightenment, which is to say, enter final nirvana, but Mahayana nirvana, not the lesser nirvana, or just out of samsara, but not working the world, working to relieve suffering limitlessly. So that's important.
Tony, I'm sorry. Which stage is one a bodhisattva at the path of seeing?
Path of seeing, you're number one, you're the
Okay.
first level. Then you go up, and as you're going up, you're getting rid of more propensities towards ignorance. And slowly, you're getting rid of the things that block omniscience. First level bodhisattva, you're not going back to samsara, you're in a blissful state. You can emanate this. It's a big deal. Second, third, fourth, fifth. Who went and mapped this out, I don't know. I want to meet them.
So it's seeing, meditation, and then what?
Accumulating.
Oh, I see. So you're bodhisattva when you already accumulate?
No, you're bodhisattva without any of this stuff. When you decide, motivation-wise, I'm doing this to help all sentient beings. I cannot stand to see beings suffer. You may not have any emptiness realization, or you may not, but you have something in you that, like, you don't like to see animals suffer, so you go nuts about it, and I don't blame you. And if that's what you should do. That motivation is the seed of Buddhahood. It's not, I want to take care of myself and just blissfully relax in my house and that's it. No, you're willing to do the extra things. That's a big deal. You should bless yourself. That's something to be cultivated. No, what are you supposed to do? Ignore them?
No.
Go out shooting? No. So that's a good, that makes you a bodhisattva. The emptiness realization makes you a noble bodhisattva.
Oh, I see.
And then you're on the 10 levels.
Right.
Number one.
So the path of seeing is noble bodhisattva.
Right.
Okay.
And number one.
Preparation.
Number one.
Accumulation.
Accumulation of merit, preparation to see,
Right.
seeing 3. And at that point, you are a first level, the joyous one of the 10 levels of bodhisattvas, because you now are a noble bodhisattva. You're not just a good motivator, you've seen the other side. You've seen ultimate reality directly, and it burned you a little. You go more, burn in a good way.
Meditation.
Then the path of meditation is 2 to 10. No more learning. You just after the 10th level, you become a Buddha. Path of no more learning. And the 10th level, they say, is such a big deal. You could do this, you could that, thousands of emanations, this and that. And compared to Buddhahood, that's like comparing the water in an ox's footprint to the ocean.
Wow.
And the 10th level is so, I mean, it is insane the way they talk about the differences.
What is the path of no return?
Path of no return, a non-returner is out of samsara, the first level. Yeah.
Okay,
There's Hinayana language where those are just going for self-liberation. They're not going on to Buddhahood yet. Because don't forget, Lotus Sutra said there's one vehicle really. Because those who sit there like this really, I imagine if they're stoned, I say to myself. But someone rouses them out. Get up. Because you're not helping sentient beings. No return is something, that gets a once returner.
Right.
You hear all these things, those are funny classifications. But here, I go with His Holiness, who's cutting to the chase. We're studying the Mahayana, and this is Avalokiteshvara talking. I believe that, and you do too, so that's good. So emptiness, no time His Holiness, it was in Wisconsin, before the college opened, he said, don't worry about nirvana and emptiness, that will come. Your motivation's more important. He kept stressing the motivation of a bodhisattva. And I'm like, that will come. You study, you use logic, but this is hard to develop. But if you have at least the seed of it, you're very lucky. And how can I help? That's all. And you realize I can't do everything. I can't buy everybody a nice house and this, but I have the idea that I want to. And that over the lifetimes grows and grows. In meaning, da, 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 da. So habituation is a big thing. Bodhisoha means you arrive. We can relate to these 5 stages on the path to Buddhahood, His Holiness says: accumulation, preparation, seeing, meditation, and no more learning, to different parts of the main body of the Heart Sutra. And the Heart Sutra's whole thing, he takes apart now and classifies. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form, form is not other than emptiness. Presents the way to practice emptiness at the first 2 stages, accumulation and preparation. The emptiness of the 8 aspects of phenomena. All phenomena are empty, they're without defining characteristics and so on. They're unborn and unceasing, not impure or pure. You make a tarantella out of it. Anything to make you understand. So that, and so it presents the mode of generating insight into emptiness at the stage of seeing. You get ready, and then the phrase, there is no ignorance, there's no extinction of ignorance, and so on. Explain the methods of practicing emptiness at the stage of meditation. So, no form, no emptiness, no, and all this. And always, no ignorance, no extinction of ignorance, no inherent ignorance, no inherent extinction of it. So it never say no, no, no. They mean no inherent, which appears as no to everybody else because we only see inherent existence. Suddenly that's removed. It's not, yeah, not really. Not really. There's things are there, but not the way you thought they were. And so you think nothing is there and you panic. It's a vacuum. Well, no, you're so used to inherent existence. But then people touch them. Yeah, I'm still there. Don't worry. One guy in Sankapa's class, I think, heard the emptiness teaching and he realized nothing's there. He panicked and he grabbed his shirt. Oh, I'm still here. But not the way I thought I was. That once you have that experience, it hits you, it imprints you, and then it's a lot easier.
But it can also be very blissful, right?
So the first time it frightens, but sometimes, yes, if you have good roots. Then Shunga will tell us, it's like winning lotto, like going on vacation, he says all these little things, And we said, what do the Buddhists do when everybody's enlightened? He said, they go on vacation. Has to be the comedian. That's why. Yeah, it's if you have it and it's very blissful, you've had some roots before, they say, But you don't just, if you're here. Your life ends not when you unless you commit suicide, when you think it's going to end. It ends when the karma that established this life runs out. That's it. So no matter what you panic about, you're still here. Well, sometimes they hit you with the stick in Zen. They go around, Get out of that. The actual transition from one stage to the next takes place when the practitioner is immersed in meditative equipoise. Not like we're talking here, unless some of you are in equipoise and you're Buddhas and you can do the both at once. Congratulations. Please help me. At the initial stage, that is when the practitioner is on the path of accumulation, one's understanding of emptiness is derived more from intellectual understanding. That's it. That makes sense of emptiness and the nature of phenomena. Bodhisattva practitioners with keen intellects, in other words, they have some background, may attain significant understanding of emptiness prior to generating the altruistic attitude of bodhicitta. These people think about it, figured it out, before they have their motivation of bodhicitta, said, it's possible. I could become a Buddha. Oh, well, let me study bodhicitta and go to that place, because I scoped it out conceptually, and this is definitely possible. And if you do some savvy reading, they say, you can come to that conclusion yourself. You have a lot of confidence then in the method. So, and this, you've got to give it time, and find a good teacher. Is there any other one? Others, less inclined towards intellectual, may develop the aspiration to liberate all beings first. We have a feeling, a warm feeling. That's most of us. So, you know, we're not sharp faculties, we're dull faculties. We don't have tenure. We're just adjuncts. We're nothing. In either case, a profound understanding of emptiness will powerfully impact other areas of practice, reinforcing and complementing them. A deep understanding of emptiness can lead to powerful renunciation, which is the aspiration to free oneself from the suffering of cyclic existence, and it can serve also as the basis for cultivating strong compassion toward all beings. So it's one mind, so one thing here is going to affect you. Well, this category, that. For the purpose of study, we divide categories and work on this and that, but it's one mind. It's got to be affected by all this study from all parts. In the stage of accumulation, one's realization of emptiness is derived primarily from learning, reflection, and intellectual understanding, the first one, nothing. And through meditation on what one has learned, one's understanding becomes deeper and deeper until one ultimately gains total clarity of insight, path of seeing. At this point, one enters at this stage, you're not on seeing yet. One enters a stage of preparation. Here, the individual's insight into emptiness, and this is a big deal, very careful now. The individual's insight into emptiness, while not yet direct, is no longer intellectual, conceptual, but rather experiential. You get such a feeling from the logic that you think you made it. So, and this is underlined, not direct, yet experiential. During the stage of preparation, the notes here, some of them are Marie's notes, because we had a seminar on this with Chung and a few others. So she came to that class, because you had time, and I see her writing here. Amazing. During the stage of preparation, one's understanding of emptiness becomes progressively deeper, subtler, and clearer. The use of concepts in meditation gradually recedes. So you're working with concepts until they go away on their own. Things come to you. That's what the guy meant. Don't try to be non-conceptual. Do the exercises. Get used to them, and the energy of them itself will propel you to where you want to go. When all dualistic perceptions of subject and object, of conventional reality, and of intrinsic existence are removed, one enters the path of seeing. At this point, there is no separation of subject and object. It is as if the subject experience and the object have become fused like water poured into water, and one's meditation on emptiness becomes unmediated and direct. As one's direct experience of emptiness deepens, one systematically encounters the various mental afflictions during the stage of meditation or familiarization, the fourth stage. During this stage, one progresses through what are known as the 7 impure bodhisattva levels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Impure, relatively impure. You know, they're pretty good. So they are called impure because the mental afflictions are not fully eradicated until the 8th level. On the 8th, 9th, and 10th levels, one counters even the propensities and imprints left by the afflictions. Finally, when one removes the obscuration preventing simultaneous perception of both ultimate and conventional truth, a Buddha sees both at the same time. When that happens, you're a Buddha. Within a single cognitive event, the omniscient mind of a Buddha dawns. It comes on you. I got to go out and grab it. No, you do the exercise and you change the mind, till it finally sees what's already been there all the time. So the idea of running out and getting something is a little strange. You have to see what's inside and let it grow, they say. A Buddha name. So that's it from His Holiness HHDL. He really is carefully trying to help us. Amazing. In the meantime, he's running the whole country. He's relying on it. He's healing the sick. So before we go to Amram, we have a one-line quote. Oh, I don't even have it. Where is it? What did I do with it? Put it in here. Yeah, here it is. This is from the friendly letter of Nagarjuna that Geshe Sopa comments on. Page 80, changing your future circumstances. In other words, what we're doing now creates the lives we're going to have. We're dealing hands that we're going to play in the future. Nice. Changing your future circumstances isn't something you do externally. It is the result of inner transformation. So remember everything internal, internal, internal. You know, it's nice to fix up things outside, and do that feel good. So, that's how much time we have. Come on, guys. Not much. We're going to the Lam Rim. I don't want to do meditation on death and impermanence without introducing it. We talked about the three scopes, the small, medium, and large. In one size fits all. They're actually one scope. It's the fact that you have to have basic meditations on the first, second, and third scope to make them work. You have to go sequentially, because if you don't, the mind's not prepared to accept the harder and harder things to understand. But if you go through the, small scope, I want to get, I want a good rebirth. I'm not just fascinated with this life and grabbing everything. It has to be something more. Okay, you work on things. Then the second level, I can get good rebirths. I'm doing this. I like that, but I don't want to be born anymore without me directing it. I want to get out of samsara. Second level. Third level, I can't get out of samsara and leave all these kind people behind suffering. My mother's, fathers, over the time. How can I handle that? I have to become a Buddha. It's the only way. Third step. But first, second, and third are really one. They have to be practiced together. That's how he ends the Precious Human Life chapter, which we're just leaving. So I'm on leaving page 100. Remembering death and impermanence. Just in time for Halloween. Hey. He has a first little, this is from page, I hate when they put the title page with no number on it. I hate that. Page 103. Buddha himself said that all sentient beings, down to the tiniest crawling insects, have the potential to become enlightened. This should give us confidence when we get depressed. In his guide to the Bodhisattva's way of life, Shantideva writes that even if beings such as flies and mosquitoes have the potential to become enlightened, what need is there to mention human beings with perfect human rebirths? Not just that we're human, but we have a perfect birth. Body and mind is good, and the Dharma is here. Ooh, how few people get that. How many people come into the Tibet Center tonight? Not many. No, but that's the idea. If we accept that flies are endowed with this great potential, then we must accept that it is even more so in our own case. As human beings, we are able to express ourselves and understand others. We possess the wisdom that is able to discriminate right from wrong, and we have been born with the 8 leisures and 10 opportunities. We went through that before. But in other words, we have a good body and mind, good circumstances, we're not being shot at, etc. Thus, we find ourselves in an extremely good position to complete the path to enlightenment. And we met the Dharma. I remember when Donna died, Nikki said, well, oh, it's so sad that she could have, studied more. She met the Dharma, Tony. She had a successful life. She met the Dharma. So we should think of that ourselves. We met the Dharma. We try, and that's it. Understanding this, we should strive to take the essence of our good fortune by applying ourselves in the practices common to the small, medium, and great scope. Common. So you do them all. That's the key word there. And learning the graduated steps of the path so we don't make any mistakes. As we discussed, in order to develop the basis to train in the great scope, we must create the foundation of the medium scope path. In order to do the medium, you have to have the small path. You got the message. We don't have to go through the whole thing. The path and practices of the small scope are based on the practice that seek to eliminate the mentality that grasps at the appearance of this lifetime and cultivate the mentality that seeks the benefit of future lifetimes. And of course, future lives are longer, so, even if you're just out for yourself, what's the best thing you can do? Yeah, I can create future lives. They don't just happen. That's the big point. The way we are now is a result of our past actions. We must have wished to become students or something, and we wished to meet a good teacher and all that, and we did. And this is his mandala we're in. So holiness is around, all these people. So we had something. It's not that it just happened. You gotta get rid of that. Because then it's claustrophobic. What can I do? I'm stuck. You may feel that way emotionally. It's not valid. Throw that out. As soon as that thought appears. call me, I'll shoot. No. No, you just got to, you had it, saying. 4 misconceptions and the 4 white seals. Not the seals that go in the ocean, no. Why is it that our minds are occupied by the fact of our present existence, unable to generate the thought of the importance of future lifetimes? Why? Why do we just think of this? Page 104. What is the obstacle hindering us? And he says, we are bound to concern for this lifetime alone by the thought grasping at true existence, or meaning thinking what we see as real, the thought of true existence, by the innate sense that we are going to live forever. Here's the key. We have that. In order to eliminate this innate grasping at a permanent mode of existence, we need to focus on the awareness of the fact that we ourselves are in fact subject to impermanence and death. Buddha summarized our misconception of the world we live in and of ourselves into what he called the 4 wrong views. You've heard these before. Are you ready? Holding what in reality is impermanent to be permanent. Holding what in reality is impure to be pure. Holding what in reality is the nature of suffering to be true happiness. That's right. If I had a pizza, that's it. No. Holding what in reality is essenceless to have essence. Inherent existent essence, something like that. But these wrong possessions ensure that we focus primarily on the activities of this one brief lifetime. Now we got to examine ourselves and see if we're just defaulting to these attitudes without paying attention. Everybody else is, and we've been doing it for many lives. So it's easy to fall into the rhythm of being an idiot. Sorry, me. So, wrong perceptions. These wrong perceptions ensure that we focus primarily on the activities of this one brief lifetime and create obstacles to developing the thought that seeks benefit of the infinite future lifetimes. Seeing these 4 misconceptions in the minds of sentient beings, Buddha taught their antidote, or the 4 white seals. The 4 seals are, and you've heard this before, this is what makes you a Buddha. All compounded phenomena are impermanent. Compounded from causes and conditions. Naturally, it's impermanent. It's in the motion. It's caused. It's not going to be around long. All contaminated phenomena are suffering. Contaminated means what? That the life that we're in was caused by previous minds that were very good. Maybe we're humans now, but they had an underlying thought of inherent existence. So we're in samsara. We're not free. Relatively contaminated. All phenomena are selfless. Okay? And last, nirvana is peace. That's the one I like. Let me ignore the others. Let me see what time we have. We've got 10 minutes. We got 8 minutes. Of the 4 misconceptions, perceiving what is impermanent to be permanent is most harmful. That starts the ball rolling, and that's easy to understand. Just catch yourself every once in a while thinking, well, no. Does that mean you do nothing? No, you understand that things are impermanent, and whatever you do, fixing this or that, or doing this or that, is subject to the laws of time, as are we. This view blocks the awareness of impermanence and death from our minds entirely. Although intellectually we know that we will in fact die eventually, because we are habituated to our misconception about impermanence and death, generally in our day-to-day lives we have the feeling that we're not going to die today. Maybe who knows? I remember 9/11, everybody suddenly was gone that was there the day before. Sheesh. As a result, we make absolutely no effort to develop the thought that seeks the benefit of future lives. We're fooled by our innate grasping at permanence. We're fooled. Therefore, the first of the 4 white seals is establishing impermanence. And you could do a lot with that. It even helps you understand emptiness. And that's something you don't have to work too hard at. It'll come at you constantly. There are 2 types of impermanence, gross and subtle. There has to be. It has to make it hard for us here. The awareness that we will not live forever and that we are definitely going to die is the awareness of great impermanence. Gross, rather, impermanence. Gross impermanence. Without this awareness, all the activities of our body, speech, and mind will serve this one brief lifetime alone. All of the activities of our body, speech, and mind will function only to accomplish our own well-being. However, in actual fact, without depending on others, no happiness can come about in our lives at all. Think about that. Without depending on others, no happiness can come. Who built your house? You know, who did you meet? Raise your kids and all this. Others. But we have the ego thinks it's alone and can accomplish everything. Mr. Trump, are you listening? Russia, the other idiot on the other side. Our grasping at permanence encourages a very narrow way of thinking that becomes the basis for much unhappiness and suffering. We're doing it to ourselves. It's a problem, unfortunately. No matter how much you talk about liberation, to an individual who believes that he or she will live forever, no matter how much you talk about enlightenment, you're uttering empty words. This is true. A lot of people the door isn't even open to this. Furthermore, this person will be much more easily inclined to engage in non-virtuous activities and much less inclined to engage in virtue. In contrast, someone who has some basic awareness of impermanence and death and some concern for his or her future lives, but lacks the full understanding of the reality of these things, will undertake virtuous actions with laziness. That's a technical term. What does that mean? For example, at the end of his or her life, after having been totally directed by worldly affairs, this kind of person may then recall what is coming next and try to engage in virtue from that point forward. In other words, till the end. You gotta do something. I know. Probably better than nothing. I don't know. What are the shortcomings of this attitude, not thinking about impermanence and death? What are the shortcomings of not considering the fact that we are not going to live forever? If we don't train our minds in these topics, we will not be inspired to engage in virtuous activities benefiting future lifetimes. That's the point. The virtuous activities give us all the good things that we're going to get in the future. Obviously, we did something to have a very good position now. It just didn't come around. We did it. So wake that attitude up that created this wonderful life. We're going on higher and higher. And we met the Dharma, met the Tantric Buddhism.
I've heard of people who've had near-death experiences, and
Yes.
they realize it kind of turns their whole perception around, and then they start doing virtuous deeds after that, because they realize the impermanence of life.
So that sort of reinforces this.
Mm-hmm.
So the shortcoming in the lifetime, and even if we do engage in virtuous, they will be comparatively weak. Even if we make attempt to practice, no, we'll be unable to persevere without recalling impermanence and death. All of our delusional ways of thinking and the actions that result from them will increase. So that's something you can't deny. You know damn well you're gonna die. We all know this. We put it down, suppress it, but it's there. And we know that things are impermanent. Think of the last car you bought or someone, everything, everything. Not just the moment by moment, but we don't like to think about it, and that's hurting us in the long run. So they say. I mean, I don't like to think about it either. Don't think I'm outside this loop. But what's the benefit of generating the realization that we'll not live forever, and particularly realizing that we could die this very day? What's the benefit? It inspires a sense of urgency in our Dharma practice without freaking out. Oh my God, no. It'll be a little more reasonable. We will be able to direct our thoughts and actions towards the benefit of future lifetimes by way of the practices of refuge and cause and effect. That's all. Not only will we be able to secure the benefits of a higher rebirth in this way for ourselves, we will also become a guiding force for others. Already the Bodhisattva motivation sneaks in even at the bottom level. Very important. The main thing though is we can create our future, co-create. We did the present. This didn't happen. Always better things, well then never mind, shut up. Create the cause, damn it. All right, so then we'll leave it at that on page 106. The name of the person, the 6-year-old from Lithuania.
He was 16-ish.
Oh, 16.
Rom.
Rangma
But he called himself Nora.
Nora, 16 years old. What a tragedy.
16 or 17. He was
Poor
going
parents.
to 11th grade. Yeah. Yeah.
I know how my mother reacted. My brother died. It's just
tragic.
devastating.
Yeah.
The whole rest of our life. When you lose a son or daughter.
Yes.
Darren, any other names?
No other names.
Okay. Or anyone else you want to add who's died in all the battles, etc. The Gaza journalists that were hit directly, see. Suits of recollection, noble three jewels. I prostrate to the omniscient one. Thus the Buddha, Bhagavata, Tathagata, Arahat, Samyak Sang Buddha, the learned and virtuous one, the Sugata, the knower of the world, the charioteer and tamer of beings, the unsurpassable one, the teacher of devas and humans is the Buddha Bhagavat. The Tathagata is in accord with all merit. He does not waste the roots of virtue. He is completely ornamented with all patience. He is the basis of the treasures of merit. He is adorned with the minor marks. He blossoms with the flowers of the major marks. His activity is timely and appropriate. Seeing him, he is without disharmony. He brings true joy to those along with faith. His knowledge cannot be overpowered. His strengths cannot be challenged. He is the teacher of all sentient beings. He is the father of bodhisattvas. He is the king of noble ones. He is the guide of those who journey to the city of nirvana. He possesses immeasurable wisdom. He possesses inconceivable confidence. His speech is completely pure. His melody is pleasing. One never has enough of seeing him. His form is incomparable. He is not stained by the realm of desire. He is not stained by the realm of form. He is not affected by the formless realm. He is completely liberated from suffering. He is completely and utterly liberated from the skandhas. He is not possessed with dhatus. His ayatanas are controlled. He has completely cut the knots. He is completely liberated from extreme torment. He is liberated from craving. He has crossed over the river. He is perfected in all the wisdoms. He abides in the wisdom of the Buddha Bhagavats, who arise in the past, present, and future. He does not abide in nirvana. He abides in the ultimate perfection. He dwells on the bhumi where he sees all sentient beings. All these are the perfect virtues of the greatness of the Buddha Bhagavat. The holy Dharma is good at the beginning, good in the middle, and good at the end. Its meaning is excellent. Its words are excellent. It is uncorrupted. It is completely perfect and completely pure. It completely purifies. The Bhagavat teaches the Dharma well. It brings complete vision. It is free from sickness. It is always timely. It directs one further. Seeing it fulfills one's purpose. It brings discriminating insight for the wise. The Dharma, which is taught by the Bhagavat, is revealed properly in the Vinaya. It is renunciation. It causes one to arrive at perfect enlightenment. It is without contradiction. It is pithy. It is trustworthy and puts an end to the journey. As for the Sangha of the great Jnana, they enter completely, they enter insightfully, they enter straightforwardly, they enter harmoniously. They are worthy of veneration with joined palms. They are worthy of receiving prostration. They are a field of glorious merit. They are completely capable of receiving all gifts. They are an object of generosity. They are a great object of complete generosity. The protector who possesses great kindness, the omniscient teacher, the basis of oceans of merit and virtue, I prostrate to the Tathagata, pure, the cause of freedom from passion, virtuous, liberating from the lower realms. This alone is the supreme ultimate truth. I prostrate to the Dharma, which is peace. Having been liberated, they show the path to liberation. They are fully dedicated to the disciplines. They are a holy field of merit and possess virtue. I prostrate to the Sangha. I prostrate to the Buddha, the leader. I prostrate to the Dharma, the protector. I prostrate to the Sangha, the community. I prostrate respectfully and always to these three. The Buddha's virtues are inconceivable. The Dharma's virtues are inconceivable. The Sangha's virtues are inconceivable. Having faith in these inconceivables, therefore the fruitions are inconceivable. May they be born in a completely pure realm. So now we do the 8 verses for training the mind. Lojong. Found it? With the determination to accomplish the highest welfare of all sentient beings, who surpass even a wish-granting jewel, I will learn to hold them supremely dear. Whenever I associate with others, I will learn to think of myself as the lowest amongst all, and respectfully hold others to be supreme from the very depths of my heart. In all actions I will learn to search into my mind, and as soon as a disturbing emotion arises, endangering myself and others, I will firmly face and avert it. I will learn to cherish ill-natured beings, and those oppressed by strong misdeeds and sufferings, as if I had found a precious treasure difficult to find. When others, out of jealousy, treat me badly, with abuse, slander, and so on, I will learn to take all loss and offer the victory to them. When the one whom I have benefited with great hope unreasonably hurts me very badly, I will learn to view that person as an excellent spiritual guide. In short, I will learn to offer to everyone without exception all help and happiness directly and indirectly, and respectfully take upon myself all harm and suffering of my mothers. I will learn to keep all these practices undefiled by the stains of the 8 worldly concerns, and by understanding all phenomena as light illusions, be released from the bondage of attachment. And the prayer for the swift return of Rapachungla Rinpoche, written by His Holiness. Exalted wisdom of all victors gathered in a drop, sole refuge manifest in the form of the one wearing saffron robes, Guru Luzang Tubuang Dorji Chang, please bear witness here today that our prayers may be fulfilled. We beseech the great torch of doctrine, accomplishing from long ago the vast waves of aspirational prayers, Lord of speech of the Victor Losang's teachings, spreading them to the ends of the earth by means of explanation and practice. Though holding the commitment, I will invite all beings to be my guests in unsurpassed great awakening. Yet you have withdrawn the activities of the form body that serves the welfare of others. Is that worthy of the supreme among beings, the Bodhisattvas? Though impossible for you till cyclic existence's end to abandon your commitment to liberate all beings, we beseech the new son of Nirmanakaya to swiftly return from the realm of Dharmakaya, brought forth by Bodhicitta drawn by 7 steeds. Having reached the far limits of scholarship, religious life, and goodness, please come swiftly as an unrivaled supreme emanation, full holder of the sage's teachings and wish-fulfilling jewel, return as the glory of Losang Tenpe. Magnificent truth of the 3 precious jewels, Mahakala, Karmayama, and Sri Mata Devi, and the ocean of Dharma protectors, may you spontaneously fulfill our wish, the swift blossoming of the reincarnation's fresh moonlight face. This concludes tonight's program. The next Dharma program here will be the White Terrace Sadhana at 1 o'clock on Saturday, which is what, for the 6th, right? We have short sadhana and prayers, like 45 minutes. And then we have a nice lunch that people bring, potluck or cover dish, whatever you call it. It's nice weather now, so everyone's welcome. And then the next Dharma class will be Monday night at 151 West 30th Street on the 3rd floor, ladies and gentlemen. Be there or whatever. Anyway, as usual, and then following Wednesday back here at the parsonage in South Orange. Thank you very much for your patient listening. Big love to all of you.